Hello, my lovely YouTubers. So I was completely shocked that I received a letter from Bautran. She's over at Orchid Dreaming. If you haven't checked her out, go and check her out. She bought me a Starbucks drink. I was so excited. She sent me bat flower seeds and she also sent me a little Starbucks gift card. So I went and got a drink. So thank you, Bautran. I was like, oh, that was so nice. So that was delicious. Anyways, so I thought in this video we would do a what's growing in my garden. I am gonna do an orchid update video as well because I have a lot of things to update you guys on. But for now, I noticed that some of my tomatoes are red, so I want to go and pick them. And I thought, who better to bring along to pick some tomatoes than you guys? So let's go check out what's growing in my garden. Okay guys, so before we go and pick some delicious tomatoes, I just wanted to show you some of my other plants that are growing in my garden that aren't necessarily orchids. So I've got my succulents over in this corner here, and this is like one of my favorites. This is called a pregnant onion, and you can see why it gets the name pregnant onion because it gets these little babies that just sprout off of it. They're so cute, and all of these can make new baby plants, so pretty cool. Not actually an onion though. If you try to eat it, it's supposedly like highly poisonous and you'll die, so yeah, don't eat it. Ooh, and my sundew just caught a fly. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That's a big fly. Good job, sundew man. Look at that. I just got the sundew like last week and it's already caught like a big meaty fly. Wow, that is cool. Usually like my pinguicula will catch like little gnats and stuff, but the sundew actually caught a big eye. That's crazy. Wow, I think his buddy's in here because, yeah, there's a fly in there. So cool. And the rest of my pitcher plants are looking super healthy. Probably need to move that Sarracenia. How cool is that? I wish I could do like a time-lapse video because I think the sundews curl over on themselves whenever they catch prey. That would be really cool to see. So this is my little jalapeno plant, and you can see it's making little baby jalapenos. I cut it back so that it would branch out more, so hopefully it decides to do that. This is the only one I actually ended up planting. I got really lazy, and I was supposed to plant these, but I didn't, obviously. And something came along and like nibbled the tops off of them, so I don't know. Maybe I'll plant them someday, maybe I won't. This tomato plant has had it so rough. I snapped, where is it? I snapped it somewhere. And then I'm holding it up with twisty ties, and it's producing fruit, which looks like it might be suffering from like blossom end rot or something. It does have a lot of fruit on it, but I don't know, it's not the healthiest looking plant. It was sort of an experiment to see if like a big producer, like an indeterminate tomato would grow well in a pot, and so far that hasn't really been the case. So yeah, I would probably do bush varieties, like a bush Goliath, in the next tomato plant I put in a pot. My avocado tree, which is looking really good. And down here I have a pot full of basil. And over here is another experiment. I had trouble with critters and varmints munching on my tomatoes in the evening hours. I know it's not squirrels because the squirrels were munching on them during the day, and I actually got rid of the squirrels doing that. But then I would have tomatoes disappear overnight, so I actually found out it was rats doing the munching at night. So I put a tomato plant in a storage bin so that if my tomatoes were getting eaten, I would be able to move it inside my porch area and protect it. And so far, I haven't had any tomatoes this year munched on by critters, so that is a good thing. Yeah, so whenever I see like ugly tomatoes like that, I just go ahead and pluck them off. No need to waste energy. It does have a really nice tomato down here. It was supposed to be a golden jubilee, but the tomato is just way too big to be a golden jubilee, so I have no idea what variety this is. Planted some elephant ear bulbs this year because this area over here stays really, really wet, and they have finally sprouted. I don't know if they're getting too much sun. I think that's why the edges are yellowing, but it said that they were partial sun, and that's definitely what this area gets, so definitely touched a spiderweb. That was cool. Okay, so in front of my house, I have these large planters, and I previously had them filled with like some sort of grassy plant, but I wanted more color, so I added lavender, and I think this is like a petunia, and sage, variegated sage, and dianthus, and it's filled in really, really nicely. I think it's going to look even better next year. And here's the other one. I probably need to water them because they are probably pretty dry. But I just love the way that this planter turned out. So I noticed a lot of you guys are crazy about the Spanish moss. I know Brad did a video about Spanish moss, and Miss Orchid Girl did a video about it. It just grows like a weed where I live, so I guess I take it for granted a lot of the time. But if you guys are wondering if Spanish moss ends up blooming, it actually does, and this is the bloom time for Spanish moss. So you can see the little green flower, and then it'll make seed pods, and then those seed pods open up, and they spread like dandelions. They are really, really fluffy and light, and a lot of people think that Spanish moss only grows on certain trees, but actually it's just like a dandelion. Wherever it lands, it will grow. So it does actually prefer to grow on live oaks though. So lots and lots of Spanish moss on the live oaks here in the south. This is one of my epiphytic cacti. They're also called orchid cacti. I was hoping to get to show you the blooms before they closed. It does have a few more blooms that are getting ready to open up there, but this one was so pretty. I'm sorry I didn't get to show you, but if you go onto my Facebook page, you'll see pictures of this one in bloom. Now it's just like a sticky mess, but they last for like quite a while. I think 2 weeks was the max on these blooms, so. My big butterfly bush, love this thing. It always tracks like an insane amount of butterflies. And down here, random pumpkin plant that sprouted from compost, strawberry plant, tomato plant, purple pincushion, bolting cilantro, which looks really pretty. And then I have some sunflowers that I just randomly threw in here. And the spawn of Satan. I really, really hate Japanese beetles, like, with a vengeance. Crepe myrtle tree. And I haven't done anything with this bed, but I've purchased some plants that I'm going to put in here. I kind of just let the compost plants take over. So everything that you're seeing here, tomato plant, tomato plant, tomato plant, I just let the compost take over, and yeah, probably need to take care of that though. So here we get to the bulk of my garden. These are where the majority of my plants are. Look how tall that thing is. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And then my other sunflower right there, which is getting ready to bloom. So looking at my garden right here, this is a yellow Belgium producing tomato plant. So there are the first 2 tomatoes on that one. Nasturtium, which I didn't realize was gonna get so freaking large, and it just blooms like crazy. I mean, all this plant does is bloom. So you can see, oh, and a little cricky guy probably eating my flowers, but I'm not eating them, so go ahead. These were the tomatoes I wanted to pick with you guys. Oh, so cool. Okay, so these are Rutgers Red, and you really want to let tomatoes ripen on the vine because they are more flavorful. You don't want to pick them green unless you plan on making like fried green tomatoes or something. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick these That one's really small back there. And they look really, really good. The thing that I look for is I make sure that there's no bruising, or they sometimes get like woody breaks, which means they're getting too much water all at once. And so the skin can't take it and they'll break. So that's what I look for to make sure that, look at that one, it's a little baby. So still more tomatoes left on that plant. I've actually been getting a lot of hornworms too. I'll try and show you guys a hornworm if I see one. These are the mortgage lifter tomatoes. Move out of there. And they are just now starting to ripen. And if you think that a tomato cage is going to contain your plants at all, it barely helps. Yeah, barely helps. That's the whole entire tomato plant. And this one's getting ready to ripen. You see the reddish marks on it. And what I look for when I know that there's, because you can't always see the tomato hornworms, so what I look for is caterpillar poo. And caterpillar poo looks like, I think that's some right there, that brown stuff. Oh, that's definitely caterpillar poo right there. So I look for caterpillar poo, and then I sort of just like follow the trail of poo. Follow the trail of poo. Follow the trail of poo. But I look for a trail of poo, and then I look for munched on leaves, which is a lot harder to do when you have such a massive plant like this. It's harder to follow the munched on leaves. And they blend in so well. They really are good at what they do, unfortunately. This is my red pear piriform tomato plant. And then I have a pineapple tomato plant, which is looking really, really good. Look how big that guy is. So, looking really, really good. And I have some lantana and dill. All of this sprouted from compost, and some basil back there. You never know what you're going to find in your own compost. Pineapple guava plant, which I don't know is going to fruit because I don't have something to pollinate it with, so who knows. And then over here, blueberry bush and my dahlias, which are looking amazing. If the stupid slugs wouldn't destroy them. I try to come out early in the morning and pick off all the slugs. And then my forest of dill. I really don't eat dill. I plant it specifically for the swallowtails. But this year I haven't gotten a single swallowtail, and you can probably tell because the dill is huge. So, no swallowtails. Snapdragons and oregano. This tomato plant I actually pulled from the compost and decided to plant it. And it's starting to fruit. And because I only grow, you can see the fruit right there, because I only grow heirlooms, this one will breed true from seed. That's the thing about hybrids, is that they don't breed true from seed. So that's one of the downsides to growing hybrids for you. Probably in a pot that's way too small, but it's just having fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my channel, and if you like these sort of videos and you want to see more garden video updates in the future, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and I will see you guys later. By the way, if you guys have any questions or comments about how to grow tomatoes, or ask me how I grow my tomatoes, just leave a comment down in the comment section below and I will answer it. Alrighty guys, see you later.